Time for the heavy hitters. We're sparring already. Peter Kadges of the Boston Phoenix, a man who's thinking about switching to Sarah Palin glasses. Cosmo Macero of O'Neill & Associates, a man who says that Tom Brady is not the big story of the week.
The end of the world could be tomorrow, and nobody's talking about the Large Hadron Collider in Geneva, Switzerland.
Cosmo, are you waiting for the rapture? You ready to embrace it?
There you go. We'll all be judged by tomorrow. They're going to flip a switch, 17-mile tunnel underground, particles smashing into each other in a way that we haven't seen since the Big Bang.
I told you I'd give you one line on the Hadron Collider. You've gone to three now.
If you're Sarah Palin, the Big Bang doesn't matter, right?
Well, let's talk about the Big Bang that went on in Foxborough over the weekend. Let's start with Tom Brady, season ticket holder. I know. Are you getting rid of the tickets now?
Are you kidding me? It was a devastating blow, literally and figuratively, to the Patriots, to Tom Brady. I'm not giving up on this team, and I think these guys are going to rally and they're going to win some games, and we're going to be. It's going to be interesting. Let's say that there's going to be a very different story to see with the Patriots this year. But I hate to lose the guy. He's the best quarterback probably ever.
Never a better feeling than the Sunday morning you wake up on the home opening day for the NFL, Peter. It took 20 minutes before those smiles turned to frowns, and it was all over.
Listen, I think this is going to be known as the Belichick jinx. I mean, for 3 years, every Friday, he had Brady on the injured list. The first time in 3 years, the beginning of the fourth year, Brady's not on the list, boom, he gets injured. Listen, the big significance here is going to be that the Patriots have a good defensive team, but they're old. They're old and they're slowing down. Brady, by being so strong on offense, kept the ball in play and minimized the need for a strong defense. I think that's one thing everyone should be looking at for the Jets game.
Two questions. One, we'll get to the Jets game in a minute. First, does this Patriots team make the playoffs?
I say yes.
I never speak against the home team.
Always wise policy. Question number two, is it an outrage, an absolute outrage, that Vegas has the Jets by 2.5 over the Pats this week?
It's certainly absurd. The Jets are already the most overrated team in the NFL. It's only week 2.
Amen. And Favre is the most overrated quarterback in a long time in this league.
Yeah, I mean, they beat the seller. They barely beat the seller of the NFL.
All the nonsense you talked about, the Hadron Collider, you've come around and now you're talking sense.
Very important story.
While the door appears to be swinging shut on the Patriots, the door may be opening on the Red Sox. They're getting close to first place, so baseball season's not over yet.
I agree. I think we're all in agreement on that. Let's get back on the Red Sox. Let's move on to a story you've been telling me about for weeks, Cosmo. Finally happened yesterday. Could have been on the front page of USA Today, except Tom Brady's a little more important, apparently, than this humongous government bailout. Yeah. Could cost us $300 billion. Yeah. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac couldn't give out government money without losing a whole lot of their own money, and they got bailed out yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened here is that the market sort of called the bluff of the Treasury and the federal government. The federal government said, look, we will step in to rescue Fannie and Freddie if necessary. We will, because they're so important to the economy. So the market said, okay, do it. And they had to. They made that promise, and they had to fulfill it, and that's what we're seeing here. It is a huge bailout. It's very important. These two companies, created by by the federal government in 1936 and then in 1972, they back 80% of all the mortgages in America. It's critical that they do not fail, and this is probably the only fail-safe there is right now. Absolutely uniform agreement. There needs to be major reform in how these companies are managed going forward. The CEOs, they're out. Let's see what their exit packages are going to be like, by the way. But they're out. There needs to be major reform because this is a real mess.
Another indication, anytime there's a government agency, it will run itself into the ground at some point. These guys, how can you lose with the setup they had? They found a way to lose, Peter. Again, it's the old line, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. These guys turned into hogs about 10 years ago, and now we're paying the price.
And let's not forget who's been in the White House, the Republicans. The Republicans,
you know he was going to turn it there.
Listen, the Republicans have been disastrous for this economy. Incomes are stagnant. The housing market's a wreck, and Wall Street is teetering. I mean, this is bad news. Cosmo's 100%.
This is about bad mortgages, Peter. This is about balloon payments. This is about jumbo loans.
And this is
about people who should never been buying houses.
And that's right, and that means there's been no regulation. The Washington regulators, the Republican regulators, turned a blind eye, and they let these guys, they let Wall Street run amok.
The Globe says there was no better option than to bail these guys out. Is that accurate?
I think it probably is. You know, the Fed all these years needed to recover from that technology bubble, so they created a housing bubble, and that's what happened here. Well, now that bubble burst.
Well, that's partly true. They also created a housing bubble to keep the American economy going, so that the adverse effects of the Iraq War weren't felt at home. It's a very complicated situation. And needless to say, Americans only have to ask themselves this question: are you better off today than you were 8 years ago?
And many Americans participated in this fiasco. Many, myself included, in utilizing non-traditional mortgage products and things, because he thought, hey, you know what? My house is increasing so much in value. I want to grab some of that. Well, now a lot of people are in a lot of trouble because of it.
With the salary you make, I don't even know why you're carrying a mortgage, for God's sakes. Finally, question in New York Post today about Barack Obama. Let's get national for a second. Can he get his mojo back? Palin's got all the mojo. Obama has lost it. McCain's now leading in the polls. Can she do no wrong, Peter, and can Barack do anything right?
Well, in my eyes, Palin can't do anything right. I mean, she's a evolution denying.
But it doesn't matter. It's not what you think, Peter. It's what the numbers say, which is America's in love with her, and it doesn't matter what she says or what she stands for. We love her.
Be careful how you throw the word "we" around. Listen, Palin's a new face on the block. Politics is about TV these days. TV demands, new meat to be chewed up. I don't think she's going to wear well in the long run. The question is, how do you define long run?
When she hit the ticket, everyone, all the pundits said, "Oh, what a disaster! She's going to be a flop. Who is she?" Well, it turns out she has captured the imagination of America. Everyone is fascinated with her. Everyone is interested in who this person is, and they're excited by her. The base of McCain's base is excited. Meanwhile, and I thought Joe Biden was a great pick. Unfortunately, he's putting Obama's base to sleep, and it looks like the Obama campaign has jumped the shark, and they really do need to get their mojo back. And I don't know how much time they have to do that. Where she could stumble is if she looks stupid somewhere. If she takes a real beating in a debate with Biden, I think that could hurt.
Where you could stumble is looking stupid if I let you talk about the Hadron Collider some more, so I'm not going to do that, Cosmo. We're going to go to break.
Do you think Palin could even say Hadron Collider?
When they turn the lights on the galaxy tomorrow.
Cosmo,
don't come crying to me.
Heavy it is. We'll take a time out.
Don't come crying to me.
Stick around.